What's up everybody, Pasita here with Inspire Bass, helping you to advance and inspire on the bass. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what drop two voicings are, how to play drop two voicings on the bass, and why these are my voicings of choice. Let's check it out. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to quickly clarify what I mean by voicing. So voicing basically is just how notes are stacked on top of each other to create a chord. So I can stack notes in many different ways. I can stack them in thirds, and they could be a mixture of major and minor thirds. I can stack them in fourths. I can even mix that, thirds and fourths. Anyway, it's basically just how notes are voiced or stacked on top of each other to create a chord. So that's a voicing or a chord voicing. Drop two voicings are just a specific way that notes or chords are voiced, and it's often used by pianists. You'll hear a lot of jazz guitarists voice their chords as drop two voicings. So if you want to know a little bit more about drop two voicings, definitely check out the links I'll put in the description below. You might find those helpful. But what I really like about drop two voicings is that they, for the most part, are very user-friendly, so to speak, for the bass, in my opinion. The shapes itself are very natural on the hands. So like that's a drop two voicing of a major six, of an E major six chord. It's another E major six chord. And that's beneficial for bass players like us, because bass players, for instance, you know, we're dealing with an instrument that's very demanding. We have strings that are very thick. We have strings that are farther apart than a guitar, and the frets are much farther or wider apart as well. So depending on how you voice a chord can really, depend on, what your limitations will be. If I were to take an E major 6 chord, for example, the notes of an E major 6 chord, we have E, G sharp, B, and A. Okay? Now, if I were to just stack those just sequentially, for instance, just from low note to high note, I would have these notes: E, G sharp, B, and C sharp. Okay. That's going to be a very hard chord to play sequentially. I have to tap it. And then that's my chord. A drop two voicing will take the second to highest note and take that down an octave. We're going to drop it an octave, and that's what they mean by a drop two, taking it down an octave. And the 2 stands for the second highest voicing. Okay, so we have E, G sharp, B, C sharp. I'm going to take this B, I'm going to play it down here. Okay, so down an octave. And then I'm going to still take those same exact notes for my original voicing and play that in order. Okay, so we have E, G sharp, skip the B because we're now dropping it, and C sharp. So E, G sharp, C sharp. E, G sharp, C sharp is also, those notes are also here. And there's my low B. So now I have an E major 6 chord that is very easy to play. And the cool thing about playing chords that are a little bit more streamlined or more natural for the hands is you're going to find that there's going to be a lot more freedom now to play melodic notes, and then you'll be able to just go right into a chord. I'm not doing anything too crazy for the most part. And you'll see what I mean. There's one voicing that when you're first starting might feel a little crazy. Now you can take this same exact voicing and do inversions with it, just like you would do with any other chord, where you would change the bottom note, but then you keep the basic structure the same. Okay, and we're going to go through that really quickly. So that's one voicing, and that stemmed from root, root, third, fifth, sixth. Okay, now let's take the third of E. So we're going to go down an octave. We have G sharp, and we'll play the same, a major 6th chord, an E major 6th chord, but starting on G sharp. Now let's stack those notes first in sequential order of lowest to highest. We have G sharp, B, C sharp, E. Actually, I might have to go up much higher. So G sharp, B, C sharp, E. That's a nice sound, but that's really hard to play. I can probably do... Okay. Now let's apply the drop 2 concept, and I'm going to take G sharp, B. That C sharp is my second highest voicing. I'm going to drop that an octave. And then we have E. So we have C sharp, taking that, dropping it down. This is the new order now. C sharp, G sharp, B, A. I'm sorry, E. C sharp, G sharp, B, E. And you've probably played this chord before. This looks like a C sharp minor 7 chord, or a minor 7 shape. That is also a drop 2 voicing. Okay, so now we have this. Let's now start on the 5th, and we have these notes. We have B, C sharp, E, G sharp, B, C sharp, E, G sharp. Okay, and that's in sequential order. If I were to play that as a chord, I have B, C sharp, E, G sharp. And that is literally going to be very hard to play. Okay, let's take the second highest note, which is the E in this case, and we're going to drop it an octave. So we have E, and we got B, C sharp, G sharp. Okay, I'm going to go up here. E, then we have B, C sharp, and G sharp. And this is the chord that first might feel a little weird to you, but it's actually pretty natural on the hands. The reason being, what I mean by that is, I don't really feel like my fingers are crossing each other. They just kind of, in a sense, one finger per fret, in a sense. And I think we have one more voicing now. We're going to start on the C sharp, and we're going to stack that again. So we have C sharp, E, G sharp, and B. I'm going to take the G sharp, drop it down an octave. Okay, so we still have G sharp, keep the same order, C sharp, E, skip the G sharp because we just dropped that, and B. Okay. And that looks like this. So G sharp, C sharp, E, B. So that's drop 2 voicings on the bass. Okay, so that's basically it with drop 2 voicings. Let me know in the comments section below if you found this helpful or not. Thanks so much for watching this video. Definitely subscribe for more videos just like this. Until next time, keep advancing and inspiring on the bass. See you soon. Hey,